Hey, it's Erica. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I know I already said it, but my name is Erica. I switch up my intro depending on my mood. But today, I'm going to talk a bit about some drama within the commentary community that is just, number one, it's annoying. Number two, it's like people defaming other people for what seems like no apparent reason to me, at least from my position. And number three, it's just like useless. Like, it's not accomplishing anything in my personal opinion. So if you don't know, there's this YouTuber, she's like a smaller commentary channel, I guess. I don't know if I would even call her a commentary channel, and we're gonna get into why. But she's like this smaller commentary channel who always seems to be having issues with other relatively small commentary channels. And I don't say small commentary channels to put people down, because these people are all, like, they all have, like, around the same number of subscribers as me. Some have a little bit more, some have a little bit less, but I mean, these are like YouTubers with like 50k subscribers. They're people with like 4k and under, so they're like around my high size. But anyway, Tyra Nicholee always seems to have issues with other YouTubers, and not issues in the way where she's like commenting on their behavior or like doing something productive. No, instead, she has to tear these YouTubers down. She comments on their looks. She insults them. Sorry about the background noise. My dad's making lunch. It's okay. We're just gonna roll with it. But anyway, she tears down how they look. She calls them fat. She calls them names. She says they're idiots and they're stupid and all of this nonsense. And it's not productive. I've watched some of her videos and I can't get into them because she's really not talking about anything. She's basically just gossiping and insulting people that she doesn't like. Because I think the difference between that and commentary is, with commentary you're trying to highlight a larger issue that you see either in society at large or specifically in the YouTube space. Like if you see, for instance, toxic parasocial relationships, if you're seeing a YouTuber who's like lying and being deceitful. But the thing about Tyra is, like, she will make these claims without backing up why she feels this way. She'll just say, this person's lying. But it's like, how are they lying? How is it a lie? And she doesn't answer that question. She just keeps talking in circles. Oh, Bambi Rambles is lying. Not another housewife is lying. This person's lying. That person's lying. But it's like, if somebody is lying, tell us how. And if you can't tell us specifically how they are lying, then how am I supposed to just take your word for it that so-and-so is lying? And I realize that people are probably going to watch this video and and believe that I have a bias towards Bambi's Rambles, and that may be true. I mean, I like her. I've interacted with her before. I wouldn't say we're friends because I don't have many friends in the YouTube sphere. I have more or less like acquaintances, people whose videos I watch and I enjoy, but I don't agree with her on everything. For instance, I didn't agree with her on because she's friends with not another housewife, and it came out that not another housewife's husband is this terrible troll who will post like RACIST stuff, like wearing blackface, and he made disgusting remarks about the Gabby Petito situation. And so I didn't agree with her stance on that, but that doesn't mean that I hate her or I'm like, I'll never watch her again. I'm not that type of person. Like, one thing that I don't agree with you on is it's not gonna sway me one way or the other unless you were the one acting in that way. But I think the situation is, it's very nuanced because it's like guilt, but by association. But anyway, now finally getting to the point of this video. There was another YouTuber called Holistic Cat, who I guess she was a big fan of Radiant Brit, who is another commentary YouTuber, and like Bambi's Rambles was making videos commenting on some of the things she didn't like about Radiant Brit, and I guess, sorry, I'm just fixing my sweater, and I guess that bothered Holistic Cat, so she alleged that Bambi's Rambles and Not Another Housewife were harassing her, and they blackmailed her regarding her mental health, and a bunch of just wild claims that when it came down to it, she couldn't back them up. But of course, Tyra Nicholee, since she doesn't like these people and she always has to insert herself in these situations, she was also perpetuating these claims, saying she saw the proof, and she was going to expose it. She never did that, because in my opinion, she did not have proof, but that's neither here nor there, because she did not deliver what she said she was going to. But anyway, I think the point that I want to make with this video, more than just like gossiping about this situation, is that like there's a difference between commentary and attacking. I try my best to not call the people whose behavior I'm commenting on, I try my best not to call them names. I try my best not to nitpick and comment on every single thing. I don't shame people's appearances. I don't shame the way people speak. I may shame the words they use if they use like offensive language. I'm going to call that out, but I don't comment on people's accents, or whether they talk slow or fast, or if they stutter, because obviously I myself stutter. But Tyra Nicholee does that. She makes fun of the way people talk. She makes fun of the way people look. She makes fun of somebody's parenting skills, which I'm like, how do you know what's going on behind the scenes? Especially because the YouTubers we're talking about are not family vloggers, so we don't see a lot about their family. So it's like, why are you talking about something you don't even know about? And I just want to say to fellow commentary YouTubers that there's a big difference between commentary and bullying. And I think when you start venturing into the territory of commenting on something somebody else can't control, like, for instance, she was commenting that because Bambi Rambles is openly autistic, so she was commenting on that and saying,
as far as her being offended by anything that Hello Leash said about autism, let me just remind you, she's only been autistic for a couple months. And I still don't think
Bambi's Rambles couldn't talk about autism because she's only been autistic for 3 months, which that's not a thing. People are born autistic, and they may find out later in life that they're autistic, but it doesn't matter when you find it. It doesn't matter when you get a diagnosis, because you always are autistic. Like, it's not something you can catch or something that you acquire. It's something that you are. So it doesn't matter whether Bambi's Rambles was diagnosed with autism last week, or if she was diagnosed like 20 years ago. Like, she's autistic, so she's autistic. She may have just found that out, but that doesn't make her any less autistic. And I understand maybe this is something Tyra Nicholee is not very educated on. And that's okay if she made a mistake. But the thing is Tyra isn't very good at like learning from her mistakes and moving forward. For instance, on my channel, and this was back like 3 or 4 months ago, I was talking about people who face misogyny, and I lumped women and trans women and non-binary people all in one group, and somebody told me that could be seen as dismissive and offensive. So I have since learned to say things like people who face misogyny, or like stuff like that, because I don't want to hurt people, and I don't want to be dismissive. I don't want to be insensitive to people. So I try my best to educate myself, and when I slip up and somebody informs me that what I did or said was not the best move, then moving forward, I try to change my behavior. But the thing about Tyra Nicholee is she doesn't seem to be doing that. I'm not going to say she's not able to do that, because I believe everybody is able to learn from their mistakes, but she doesn't seem to be doing that. She doesn't seem to be very receptive to criticism or correction. And trust me, I understand when you get something wrong and somebody points it out, it's a very uncomfortable thing. But that's how we learn. That's how we grow. And if we want to have a public platform, we need to be open to that. So I just wanted to talk about the difference between commentary and bullying today, because I do get a lot of comments, especially on my videos, that seem to blow up more, and others that I am bullying certain creators. But I try my best to not do that. I try my best to stay within reasonable bounds and not comment on things that aren't relevant or that somebody cannot control. And that is about all I had to say today. I am suddenly losing my voice, but thank you so much for watching. If you liked this, please give it a big thumbs up, and if you have not already, please consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time.